Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. We begin tonight with breaking news out of Whitley County. A section of Interstate 75 is shut down due to a crash. Officials with the Whitley County Dispatch say a semi-truck collided with a pickup truck near exit 15. As a result, the southbound lanes on that portion of the interstate are shut down. Transportation officials say it could be closed another 3 hours. We do not yet know if anyone was hurt in the crash.
In Kentucky at this hour, here's the latest with live pinpoint Doppler radar. You can see a line of showers pushing through just south and east of the Louisa area through Hazard over towards Middlesboro, and then south of Harlan seeing some rain as well. We'll go ahead and pinpoint a couple of locations. Again, over towards portions of Wayne County in West Virginia, southern Wayne County in West Virginia, I should say, seeing some heavy rain. We did see a line of showers push right through the TV station about 15-20 minutes ago. So you can see that line towards Hazard, and then south of Harlan going into portions of Lee County in Virginia. Seeing some heavy rain as well. Now, the rain chances will be in the forecast as we go throughout the next several hours. It will transition to a wintry mix and even some snow. And you can see right here, here's a look at the tower cams in Hazard as well as Pikeville and London. We're seeing cloudy skies and that rain. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 50s in Hazard as well as London, mid 60s in Pikeville. So for tonight, we'll drop down to 34 degrees. We'll see temperatures staying in the 50s by the 10 o'clock hour. By 4 a.m., we'll see the rain continuing with temperatures in the mid 40s, then upper 30s with that wintry mix in the forecast when you wake up in the morning. Now, we do have a couple first alert weather days in effect for tomorrow going into Thursday, and we'll time everything out in just a few minutes. Steve.
Eric, thank you. Authorities are working on returning the suspect in the murder of the United Healthcare CEO back to New York. Extradition proceedings happened this afternoon. CBS's Jared Hill has more on the unfolding case against the defendant.
Completely out of touch.
26-year-old Luigi Mangione shouted to news cameras as he was led into his extradition hearing at the Blair County Courthouse. He's charged with murder and other offenses in connection with the brazen shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in the middle of New York City. Police in Altoona, Pennsylvania caught up with the fugitive Monday after someone recognized him at a McDonald's.
They asked him if he had been to New York recently.
And he responded nervously.
He was very nervous.
Anna Schechter with the CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit says charges were filed swiftly based on the evidence recovered on Mangione.
He had the same fake ID that the person of interest used to check into that hostel on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. He also had a ghost gun that was capable of firing 9mm rounds. He also had those 9mm rounds in his bag.
Casings from those 9mm rounds were found here at the crime scene last week. Now all of the evidence from Mangione's arrest has been turned over to the NYPD. Mangione's felony arrest warrant mentions written admissions about the crime found with the defendant. CBS News has learned he ranted about corporate greed in a 3-page handwritten note. Mangione wrote that the U.S. has the most expensive healthcare system in the world, but ranks number 42 in life expectancy.
I knew him somewhat well. He was a nice kid.
Mangione comes from a wealthy background and elite schooling, but those who knew him recently said he suffered debilitating back pain. Authorities have balked at social media support for the suspect.
Hear me on this. He is no hero.
Mangione was denied bail and he is contesting extradition. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The Manhattan District Attorney will seek a warrant from New York Governor Kathy Hochul to secure extradition. Senator Mitch McConnell had another fall in Washington, D.C. today. Senator McConnell fell and scratched his face after a party luncheon. One senator who was with him when it happened says he is fine. Another senator says McConnell was able to walk back to his office with no assistance. You may remember Senator McConnell fell twice last year, one of which resulted in a concussion. An Ashland man was sentenced to 20 years in prison for the distribution of child pornography. According to a plea agreement, a cyber tip led law enforcement to a Reddit account that was reported for uploading child sexual abuse material. After police found the account, law enforcement was able to identify Walter Sherman Thomas. While police searched Thomas's phone, more than 200 images and nearly 90 videos of sexually explicit content were found. Today marks 3 years since a tornado outbreak devastated much of western Kentucky. At least 80 Kentuckians lost their lives due to the deadly tornadoes on December 10th, 2021. Today, Governor Andy Beshear visited that area to remember those who lost their lives and to thank those who are still helping rebuild. Since the tornado outbreak, Governor Beshear has now announced 75 private sector projects for a total investment of more than $3.3 billion. Fort Gay in Wayne County, West Virginia has a new mayor. Councilman Ralph Dent was appointed unanimously to be the city's next mayor. It comes after the previous mayor and town recorder resigned last week. Both were charged with multiple felonies, including fraudulent schemes, embezzlement, falsifying accounts, money laundering, and conspiracy. The town council appointed Councilman Wade Cyrus as the town recorder. A number of President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet picks returned to Capitol Hill today, trying to build support to get Senate confirmation. CBS's Torian Small is on the Hill with the latest.
Pete Hegseth continues to press his case with senators to lead the Pentagon a day after his second meeting with Iowa Republican Senator Joni Ernst, the Senate's first female combat veteran and a survivor of sexual assault.
I would never speak for Senator Ernst, but I appreciate the time. It was an amazing conversation.
Ernst didn't say she'd vote for Hegseth's confirmation, but did say she would support him through the process. President-elect Trump's choice for defense secretary faces allegations, including sexual misconduct and excessive drinking. Moderate Republican Senator Susan Collins meets with him tomorrow.
I'm going to be asking him on everything from his position on Ukraine, on sexual assault in the military, on the role of women in combat.
Trump's recent comment that lawmakers who served on the January 6th committee investigating the Capitol riot should go to jail is sparking a reaction.
There's nothing we did as a January 6th select committee that violates the law.
That's not something that Congress is going to have anything to do with, so that's entirely up to the president.
And in a social media post Tuesday afternoon, Trump said that any person or company investing at least $1 billion in the U.S. will receive expedited approvals and permits. Torian Small, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Also on Capitol Hill today, the Senate Judiciary Committee held a hearing on Trump's mass deportation plan. Trump has said his plan will involve declaring a national emergency and using military assets. President-elect Trump's attempt to get rid of the $454 million civil penalty in his fraud case has been rejected. The judge says the appeal of the judgment poses no burden to his future presidency. A New York judge found Trump and others fraudulently inflated the values of properties on financial statements used to obtain favorable loan and insurance rates. The judge ordered Trump to pay $454 million, including interest. Trump has appealed. The bipartisan House task force investigating the 2 assassination attempts against President-elect Donald Trump released its final report. The report concluded the first attempt at Trump's campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania in July was, quote, preventable and should not have happened. However, the lawmakers praised the Secret Service for their actions during the second assassination attempt at Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach in September. The challenge of Idaho's strict abortion ban and emergency care that reached the Supreme Court this year returned to a federal appeals court today. The Biden administration claims federally funded hospitals must provide abortions when pregnancy complications jeopardize a woman's life or health, even in states that ban abortion. Idaho's abortion ban has been partially blocked and reinstated multiple times during the course of the litigation. Coming up on Mountain